Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to head into game number 3 between FXO and a team Quantic right now. Let's go ahead and get there. We're on daybreak right now. We have QXG Destiny up against FXO Choya. QXG Quantic still not throwing out Naniwa. It has to make you wonder a little bit, but still, I know Naniwa is definitely a very busy guy. He trains a ton, and it just might be that... he wants to just make sure that he's not going to, his strategies aren't going to be compromised.
I know for a fact that Naniwa had a lot of problems with his sleep schedule lately. We've been talking about it when his team was attending the GSTL, and he said that he didn't sleep for 36 hours because he wants to finally fix his sleep schedule so that he has a proper schedule and sleeping pattern again. That might have to do with it. I'm not quite sure how he is lately. The last 3 days, that is. We've been talking a bit on Skype, but not about his performance and his lettering. But yeah, you're perfectly right. So right now we don't see Quantic showing with either one of the two suites. We don't have Sasa, we don't have Naniwa, but we have Destiny against Choya. And Zerg versus Protoss is certainly going to be interesting on Daybreak. I really like the matchup on this map.
Yeah, Destiny definitely known for being a personality, but also, he has sort of innovative styles. We saw him originally be a very, very Zergling Infestor type base player before Zergling Infestor was even cool, man. I mean, he was the original hipster, basically, of Zerg.
The one thing that is kind of interesting in this matchup, I just checked the matchup statistic for both players, and Destiny's best matchup is definitely his matchup against Protoss. He has won 14 games, lost 15, and Choya's worst matchup is the matchup against Zerg. And he has only a 45% win ratio against Zerg. He's pretty good against Terran and Protoss, but against Zerg he's struggling quite a bit. And that might work in Destiny's favor. We have Choya now... Sorry?
It's like the perfect storm, man. I mean, obviously, Destiny, I would still say it might be an upset just because of how well Choya has been performing throughout all of NASTL and even his career. I think Choya is definitely seen to be one of the better Koreans, but we'll see. It's going to come down to, obviously, this particular match. And I don't know. Destiny is definitely a player that... He's very volatile. We've seen him play so strong, and in other times he makes very critical blunders. But I know he's been practicing in Korea. I know he's been training up quite a bit. Hopefully we do see the Destiny that I know and love.
I heard that he's playing a lot of LoL lately. I don't actually know for a fact, that's just what I've heard. But yeah, we'll see if he's able to take down Choya. And it's actually kind of funny that those two players meet, because Choya is also a player that is really unpredictable. He's doing a lot of weird stuff sometimes. I've even seen him building proxy colossi in a PvT, which he won, by the way. It was really, really funny to watch. And he's starting with Forge into double gateway. He's not getting a cybernetics core yet.
Yep, very interesting way to actually play this out. What he's basically trying to do is get this early game pressure on his opponent. It'll give himself map control, punish his opponent for going a very quick third. A lot of times we see third bases being taken at the 4 minutes 30-second mark, around there. And Daybreak is definitely a map where you can do that. Zergs feel confident in doing that because the rush distances are so far away. So I think what Choya is doing is trying to play towards the style of the map. But unfortunately for him...
Chrono boosting like crazy still. He's going for a lot of zealots, and that's what I've been talking about. The style of Choya is really unpredictable, and sometimes he will just play builds like he's doing now without, or with a very, very delayed cybernetics coin, just in favor of a huge amount of zealots, getting the +1 attack upgrade now as well. And Destiny is expanding. He's getting a third, so I'm actually kind of curious to see how he's going to deal with all these zealots.
This build was good when it first got started, like when we saw this on the scene maybe a couple months ago, it was good, and I think it was only because Zergs didn't understand the timings of this particular opening. It was just a really wide range, because you see 2 gateways up there, and you're expecting, okay, it could be like 2 gateway zealot pressure, but I don't know how many zealots he's actually capable of nowadays. Though I think it is like, you know, figured out for the most part. These zealots are going to do a little bit of damage. The hatchery should not go down. What should actually happen is he should mass up in a lot of Zerglings and then just completely thrash this this early game push. But it does look like Destiny is going to let this go. This obviously is exactly what Choya wanted to have happen, and he's going to profit off of it.
Yeah, you will have to cancel the hatchery. That's perfectly right, Gretorp. We have now a lot of Zerglings streaming in. He has the Roach one as well. He doesn't even wait for the Roaches, because he knows fully well that he can take on these opponents, Zealots, without a problem. Building the hatch now, but at least Choya was able to delay it. He was able to delay the 3rd base for a bit, and now finishing a +1 attack for his Zealots, so they will rip through Zerglings without a problem at all. We have 2 additional gateways coming up, putting the gateway count for Choya up to 4 in total, and 43 to 44 harvesters.
Now let's think real quick what Choya actually did right there. He actually traded his tech, which is obviously getting all of his gas and stuff like that. His tech, whether it be units, whether it be just raw tech, robotics bay, stuff like that, for minerals and gas, economy of Destiny. So right now, the big question is, what does Choya actually do with that advantage? Right now, he does have the advantage in that Zerg don't have a booming economy, but he's slightly lesser in tech. Maybe Choya actually follows this up with some sort of gateway pressure. I'm not sure particularly. I think there's a lot of things Zerg can do at this point that makes it very scary for him. And Choya's going to have kind of a difficult decision right now. It might be a little bit coin flippy.
That's what you just explained is exactly the problem that I have with Choya's build now, because he just delayed his entire tech with a strategy, and the only thing that he achieved was a cancel on the 3rd, which is obviously something that is really good and works in his favor. But at the same time, he is just limiting himself to a very passive playstyle in this mid game, because he can't execute like a 6-gate attack, he can't execute a well-timed out Blinkstalker attack or Stargate follow-up. His tech is just so delayed that Destiny now is really safe. He had to cancel his 3rd base, but he could just drone up on 2 bases, is now getting the 3rd regardless, and is already ahead with 62 to 51 harvesters, now even jumping to 72, and he is really in a good position. He's ahead in supply, he has a good read on his opponent, so I'm not sure if Choya really achieved what he tried to achieve.
Yeah, I have to say that I don't really agree with Choya's decision at this point. I mean, going for this expansion, what does it actually accomplish? It's not getting it super fast. There's other ways of getting a very quick 3rd on Daybreak. And it's, you know, it's not getting it too fast. You're not really hurting your opponent so much. So when you're getting actually this delayed and playing passive, now you have to look back. Was the economy that, or excuse me, was the attack I did worth it? I mean, you traded, what was that, 6 Zealots for a canceled hatchery, 75 minerals, and a lot of baited Zerglings. I'm not sure if that was the best decision at that point. I think Destiny is in a great position in terms of just where the development of their bases are. I think Destiny is in a commanding lead, even though we see equal harvester count, or not harvester count, equal supplies, 54 to 72. Harvester count definitely going to Destiny, and now we have mutas where Choya doesn't really have any big timings because he went this 3rd base. He's really vulnerable. He has to defend against 10 million things. The mutas are really going to be super strong against him. And I think I just dropped Tom again, so Khaldor is going to be momentarily gone. But at this point, the 4th base has been taken, and let me explain that a little bit further. I mean, basically, when you go that type of build, you lose a lot of units, you lose a lot of tech. Normally, you will have some follow-up based on the fact that your opponent doesn't have, let's say, the creep spread over there. He doesn't have the income to actually keep up with, let's say, a 4, 5, 6 gate type of pressure. So going for something like this and then expanding basically says, I'm letting you do whatever you want to do. I have to play so defensive because I haven't really gotten a huge army. I haven't gotten a fast base or anything, fast expansion, so I don't really have an advantage in either of those, so I have to play defensive, and that's why it gives all the initiative over to Destiny. It allows him to go these mutas basically, you know, untouched. He didn't even have to make any Zerglings, any Roaches, and that's because of the opening. I've really questioned Choya's 2-gate opening, especially on a map like Daybreak. It is a little bit gimmicky, but you can see that he's defending pretty well against this type of muta play. I'm really happy to see so many cannons out in the field. He needs to mass up in all these Stalkers at this point, but is it going to be enough? Destiny is going to be expanding so much at this point, it'll be very difficult to keep up with him economically. Looks like these mutas are just trying to shark around, catch as many units as possible. He wants to take out those sentries. Sentries are pretty clutch. I do want to mention that one common thing you can do when you hallucinate and then start getting phoenixes, and when you get the phoenixes, the mutas actually prioritize the phoenixes over the other units, so it makes her a great meat shield. You can soak up a lot of damage that way, and obviously keep your stalkers alive a lot longer. So that's definitely a common thing that well, not too common, but it is definitely some of the utilities of the sentries that can be used. We just haven't seen that quite yet. But right now, what is Choya's options? Let's think about them right now. It's basically get ahead in upgrades. Right now, he is at, let me go ahead and check, 2-1, 3-1 on the way, as opposed to his opponent's 1-0. So get ahead in upgrades, or just go for mass expansion at this point and play super defensive. I think the expansion route is a lot harder just because obviously there's just so much position. Daybreak is a very open map. You can see these mutas doing great damage, but a couple of storms are going to go off here. Actually, he dodges them pretty nicely, so Destiny is all the way up at 180 supply. Where is all of his supply located? Let's find that out. 29 mutalisks out in the field, 99 drones. Oh my god, 99 drones, but no, I'm not even going to do that. But 99 drones are out in the field. That makes it increasingly harder for Destiny to actually do these straight head-to-head fights where you obviously clash all your mutas against all your opponent's stalkers. Just because you're seeing that maybe, you know, good maybe 10, 20 mutas could be added to the army, but he's not going to have that at all. Zerglings in the bottom right-hand corner, just checking out if there is an expansion. I like this fourth location. It is a much smarter decision. Right now, all Choya is trying to do is get like a cost-efficient trade and then push. That's his plan right now, but I'm not sure if I like that as much, just because it relies on your opponent messing up rather than you actually making something. So Destiny still contains all of the initiative. He has basically the decision making in this game. You know, really Choya doesn't have anything else to do but defend, and you can see that the mutas are just ravaging his opponent's base. This one Archon is trying to be merged over here. It will be merged, but I mean, look at how many spine crawlers are being placed against this many spine crawlers. You need Colossus, and that's something that right now we don't have. You don't want to be trading against this type of army composition, obviously, or excuse me, you don't want your stalkers trading up against spine crawlers, because you're basically trading up supply for no supply, so it's not a good position. And I like what Destiny's doing, just continuing the aggression. 34 mules out in the field. Is he actually getting any other upgrades? No, just +2 on the way. We have our evolution chamber just getting Carapace, but it's at +1 right now. In the meantime, income tab showing 61 harvesters to 93, so Destiny doing a good job keeping his opponent's probe count down, but he needs to be so careful, because as his opponent goes to that maxed army, the maxed army becomes more and more powerful, whereas Destiny really can't go up any higher. single Archon going to be over here defending this base. 5 cannons are here to defend it as well, so the Mutas have to be so careful. If one splash actually happens, it'll be catastrophic. The Archon is going to be waddling its way over there. Is it going to be enough? Magic Box over the Archon. Very nice job. So the Archon deals minimal damage. It's going to continue on. A Stargate is being warped in over here. Are there additional Stargates? I don't think so. Infestation Pit is going down as well. Stalkers are trying to get over here, but let's face it. I mean, you know, Destiny is just doing so much damage, now grouping up with all of his Mutalisks, and that's going to be Choya's trigger to actually get more units over here. I don't think he can actually engage, but these Stalkers are getting beaten down. Additional Stalkers are blinking up onto all the Mutalisks. The Mutalisks have to retreat at this point. Destiny is losing a lot more Mutalisks than he wants to, but still you can see that gas count is definitely hurting him right now. 200 gas. And he's on, let's see how many gases. 9 gases. He wants to take this middle bottom and the middle top, of course. And if possible, that bottom right-hand position, if he takes that, that'll be very advantageous. But for now, Colossus and Thermal Lance being researched. Stargate Tech isn't actually producing anything. It's only for that mothership, which I did see the fleet beacon come out. But here the Mutas are going to start engaging on the Stalkers. And this is what we're talking about. I mean, when the Muta count gets so large, he can just go directly up onto his opponent and just kill a big portion. Oh my god, Stalker is being warped in over here, and they actually die basically before any of them can pop out. Now Thermal Lance is going to be denied along with this robotics facility. So Destiny just absolutely dismantling his opponent, making it look so easily done. So I don't know what Choya can do at this point. These Mutas are doing way too much damage. Now finally bringing back all the units, but the damage has been done. The main is completely wrecked. A Nexus producing the mothership right overhead of Destiny. I mean, he can see that big, this thing, that, whatever it is, that lost lighthouse, I don't know what it is, but he can see that actually being constructed. So right now he's saying to himself, okay, I know I'm up against a mothership. What am I going to do at this point? Does he actually just keep continuing on with this? That's definitely a possible option. So many spine crawlers at this point. The gateways are all unpowered. It looks like, well, let's see the supplies, 145 to 192. Army tab showing just about even, right? With slightly going to Destiny. Destiny at this point can give up some of these bases, though. I do want to say that. He needs to be careful with these Mutas. Nice storm. But right now, I think Destiny just gives that up and goes for the main. That's the correct decision. A lot of cannons being warped in over here. Mothership almost finished. Now, these Mutas are actually coming at the perfect time. This mothership doesn't have enough energy to actually do anything like a vortex. And look at that. The vortex is not going to go off, of course. Mothership goes down. Very, very easy pick off for Destiny. In the meantime, that bottom middle expansion was taken out, but Destiny obviously keeping a nice advantage over this game, although he needs to be careful. Look at those supplies getting very, very close. He's continuing on with Mutas. Another mothership in production. Where is it actually going to be starting? This is a much better location for it. But what he wants to have happen is that the mothership is actually going to give him the ability to vortex all the Mutas and then recall once he gets that 200 energy. And that gives him the ability to really roam around anywhere with this massed units. When he roams around, he's obviously able to just recall everything back and then defend against Mutas. So you're actually covering against the mobility advantage that the Mutas have, and just push out every 200 or something like that. I mean, you're gonna have, it's gonna be situational, of course, but at this point, Destiny is still wrecking face with the Mutas. This bottom right expansion will go down. The Archons are trying to get over there, but of course they can't keep up with just the agility of these Mutas. Huge blink Stalker Force going to blink forward. Not going to do too much damage. Still, that big Mutaball is alive and kicking. 43 Mutas out in the field. He's going to pick off these 2 Archons and just get the hell out of there. This is, you know, the type of play that's so frustrating to deal with as Protoss. you can't actually have a straight up fight ever because the mutas are just super, super fast. Now the Colossus is going to be picked off. Choya just losing units left and right, but the muta count is doing a little bit over here. He's less than, it looks like, nope. Yeah, he's less than 24 mutas at this point. He does not want to completely trade, and now he's been caught in a really difficult position. He's trying to shuffle back and forth. That was 2 great storms that just went off right there. 11 mutas in that clump. He's down to 184 supply, so still in a good position. 85 harvesters. He's always keeping up in the amount of harvesters he has. Drone count is even increasing as well. He's up to 93 at this point. Holy crap. That is a ton of drones, but that's of course for those spine crawlers that he needs to put down. Now what Choya should be doing is obviously denying these 2 middle expansions as much as possible and trying to take his own bottom right expansion. That's going to be very difficult. Oh, the mutas have to be so careful, but they're going to magic box over the Archons. Look how fast they die. So easy when he's at 2-2, and basically the Archon is at 3-0. I say 3-0 because he's shields. He's all shields, so he's taking full damage from those mutas. At least, what is that, 11 damage? At least 11 damage, because don't forget the glaives actually bounce off. So definitely helps out quite a bit. The bottom middle expansion is going to be taken. I like what Choya is doing. He has finally pulled ahead in that supply count, and he's looking rather nice. But Choya, he just needs to, I don't think actually attacking here is correct. Ooh, this could be really, really tough. That's a ton of spine crawlers actually going in there. A lot of stalkers for himself, but look at that, more spine crawlers on that top, so going up there would be quite bad. He's actually going to continue going in there. Meanwhile, the third has been picked off, and look at that, he's just lost this complete base for nothing. Literally nothing. The High Templar is going to get picked off yet again. He needs to, what he needs to do right now is just stabilize his own base, make sure he's all fine and dandy. Mothership over here in the top middle, he needs to just keep that over there, over all of those photon cannons. But if he just tries to get equal bases, let's go ahead and look at the units lost tab, because I think Destiny is worse off, and yes, he's behind by 5,000 resources, just about 4,500 actually, to be precise. I think this is going to be very hard to defend. I can understand he wants to just stay connected over here in this diamond shape, but still, that is a tough distance actually. I guess it's okay. I don't mind it as much. But I do prefer just utilizing that mothership, being able to obviously vortex and then recall. But he needs to be careful. I don't think actually pushing out with this mothership is the best decision. He's actually going to go directly for it. Is there a vortex that goes down? And yes, it does. But what is it really going to do? He needs to get stormers over there, because these mutas are just going to pop right out and leave. It doesn't really do anything. 400 minerals, 400 gas. For that vortex, basically, that's really what he paid for. And it gets a little bit of damage done on those mutas, but not a lot. All of them very, I guess, Thanksgiving / Halloween flavored, yellow and orange. Those candies, I hate those candies. But you know, right now, Fleet Beacon is going to be taken out. He wants that mothership, but I think he's utilizing not the best way. The cannons are going to go out at this point. And what does Choya actually do from here? Income tab showing 37 harvests to 55, so you can see Destiny has definitely decreased in the amount of drones that exist on the map, which is correct in my opinion. The mutas are still doing so much damage now. Tower getting down the cybernetics core. That goes down. Another storm is going to go down. A lot of storms, but all those High Templars are going to get cleaned up. Gateways are going to die. And now Choya has to commit into these spine crawlers. He's going to lose a lot of units if he doesn't actually make this correct. When he Destiny should be sniping down those sentries, and yes, he's actually looks like targeting down the sentries. All but 2 of them are going to die here, and with just a Stalker army composition, it allows her a lot of synergy with those mutas. Now Destiny can make things like Zerglings, and Zerglings are actually a surprisingly great tank against Stalkers, because there's a lot of overkill that's done. So he can definitely take advantage of that. Again, more gateways are going to be produced here, but you know, I think Destiny is in a position where he's looking really, really good. So many spine crawlers all around the field. Not only that, he is up against a very manageable army composition. I think Destiny will put Quantic on the board over here. as it looks like the last remaining base is going to be attacked and killed over here. There's remaining minerals and gas, but he can't use that. I think Choya is just going to have to push in here. But to his dismay, he's not going to like any position that he actually has to push into. And that's going to be, I think, the death of all these stalkers. He's actually blinking forward. He's going to lose a lot more stalkers than he needs to lose, just because he's going to use the blink to actually blink back and save the weakened stalkers. But again, blinking forward, he's going to lose, it looks like just like 5-6 stalkers out of that whole engagement. But you want to leave every single one home as possible. That would be a really bad situation to get into. One single Artosis pylon powering 4 gateways, and it looks like 7 cannons. And Destiny might just go for that. Artosis, how dare you? Teaching the Koreans bad habit. Just kidding, Artosis. I love you. Cannons are going to go down. This is the last remaining base. Does he actually have any more probes out in the field? No, he does not. So this is going to be a base race, it looks like. But of course, not really a base race, because Destiny has a buttload of freaking spine crawlers. Looks like 2 full rows. Let me check that. Almost 2 full rows. Yeah. So it's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 43 spine crawlers out in the field. That is awesome. And this is all but over. The Mutas can just sit out here forever. He can take all of his bases. If any units actually go home or go to deny that, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But Destiny is just going to go for it. Stalkers against these Mutas. The Mutas are going to win out. Nice Storm goes down, but it's not going to be enough. He only has 2 remaining gateways and a Assimilator, a Stargate, and a Pylon. Not only that, he also has a Nexus going down, but doesn't matter. GG comes out. Destiny is going to take it. Very nice play by Destiny. I have to really question, going back to that beginning phase, that's the big thing. I mean, Choya, the reason why I said in the beginning it was a little bit coin flippy directly after he did that opening was because the distance are very, very long, drawn out. Normally you will have continued pressure coming up with that, penalizing or punishing your opponent for not having a good economic, just a good economy. Going into that mid-game stage, a lot of times Zergs will prepare. They'll get a lot of drones at that point, and really they don't have the mineral patches to really prepare, right? Because you're expecting to be on 3 base, and all of a sudden you get cut to 2 base. You have all these spare drones that are just not mining efficiently just because you've overproduced in drones. So you're actually led into kind of a bad position. Really what you want to have is units at that point and then get more drones to actually do a lot of damage on your opponent. But that's not what happened. Choya went for an expansion after that, and that's really, really weird to have happen. That's why I said it was a little coin flippy, because he has to make something big, because at that point, the range that Destiny could have been doing, you could be seeing mass mutas, you could have been seeing mass roaches and zerglings, you could have been seeing zergling infester, you could have been seeing colossus, immortals, all these different things. You have to have a very, very dynamic, unique army composition for your opponent. So going up against mutas, it kind of negates the high count of sentries that you won in the early game stages. Think if you put those sentries into something like upgrades, blink stalkers, blink as it is, maybe even Stargate tech, all these different things to deal with the mutas a lot better. He would have been in a much better position. Unfortunately for Choya, he just ran into a position where the army composition gave Destiny a big, gigantic advantage, and Destiny knew exactly how to progress forward. He knew how to actually utilize his advantage, take control over the center of the map with all those spine crawlers, mine as much as he can over his opponent, deny his opponent's expansions, and he's in a great position. It really shows you the power of knowing what to do with your army, and that's something that we, separates the super top-notch players from just regular master, grandmaster players. That's why we see obviously Destiny in QXG and not in some random clan, but really, really nice play by Destiny. It's going to put them on the board 1-2, so still FXO is ahead, but we're going to go into game number 4 after this break. Hopefully I can get my co-caster Khaldor back in here, and we'll have another great match. So FXO versus Team Quantic, game number 4 coming up after this break.